And we're live. Let's do a little song. Get us going. Alphatrend, you got a little echo. If you could mute your Twitter space. Welcome everybody. It is episode 14, and we've still got an echo. Gonzalo, if you could take your phone and just like chuck it across the room, that way the sound won't feedback, and like turn the volume all the way down. Here, I'll pull you up on stage. I'm just sharing the YouTube video. I put it in the comments. I'm going to just tweet that out now to live now. Do a little paste, a little tweet, send. You know what, guys? I'm going to put this in threads too, right? Might as well put it in the new app. So yeah, 2160. What's happening, man?
Nothing much, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful Friday. The sun is shining in California, and I'm about to go on a road trip with my family to go visit my grandmother for her birthday. So excited to do the show, listen to a couple cool projects, and then hit the road.
Nice, man. That's always good. We had a big family weekend last week. It was long. We camped in the in-laws' backyard and drank a lot of tequila and beer, and it was exhausting, but it was fun. Kids had fun, so it was good. Gonzalo, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too, guys. I'm not sure where should I be speaking right now, so StreamYard or the Twitter space.
Yeah, StreamYard's perfect. That'll feed into the Twitter Spaces as well. So,
Perfect.
yeah, it's good. For sure.
Perfect.
So
All
anyone
good.
that's on, if you could like, share, retweet, follow. Still getting little feedback. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, we do have another guest coming, Groovies as well. And if they don't come, I will just go to their Twitter and we will just do it on our own. So we can go ahead and get started. Gonzalo, if you want to just tell us about how you got into Web3 to start personally, tell us about your journey. Maybe a little bit about what you did before Web3, and yeah, just give us a rundown on that.
Perfect. First of all, I gotta say I appreciate you guys for having us today. And the Reg Guy piece that Reg 2160 has on the back is fire. You need to step it up, Burn.
Wait,
Absolutely.
hold on. Uh, oh no, we lost Gonzalo. Where did he go? Oh man, let me bring him back. Sorry, lost you there for a minute.
Oh, good. So basically, I went to UCSB and
Mine's better. I have
cool.
better. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, basically I went to UCSB and I'm one of those people that is grateful for the COVID and pandemic thing that happened because that made me fall in love with the stock market. I didn't have to go to school, I started listening to some crazy guy on YouTube live every morning, going live like 6 in the morning to 1 p.m. on talking about the stock market. And then the GameStop situation happened, and I kind of disliked that whole situation. So discovered Dodge because of TikTok, and that made me fall in love with crypto. And then a friend from the US told me to buy some conks online. Those were the Rumble conks, a pay to earn basketball game that I don't know if it's out yet, but I bought three of those not knowing what I was doing, and that made me fall in love with NFTs. And here I am now working for Alphatrend and discovering new ways to help the market grow and bring more people.
Nice, man. So that's kind of when I wish I would have gotten into NFTs, was around that GameStop time. I was in stocks, just eating into options and stuff like that. I did all right. I mean, I think I like broke even. I didn't get crushed, but
Me
I
too.
kept going too long. I started copy trading Kathy Wood. So I'd get her emails every night, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get what she gets." Like, and that's obviously a horrible strategy because if somebody already bought it, like you're too late. So, um, yeah, kind of dumb. And then obviously she rode that tech wave for a while, but it didn't keep going, right? Tech just completely crashed, and it didn't really work out that great. So I really wish I would have gotten into NFTs at the time because I'd be a lot more wealthy now if I did. That's all right. It still worked out. So yeah, man. Tell us about Alphatrend.
So it's a company from Chicago. It's a big team of finance people, engineers, developers, and we basically have online tool and analytics, right? That you can check the stock market, the NFT, and the crypto market. So there's three of them. Yeah, if you can go to products right there, you can see that we offer the three of them, and basically we're now we see this issue in the NFT market that you guys probably see too, that there's no new people coming in, right? It's hard to onboard new people. It's basically us trading back and forward all the time, and we see a potential market, and that's why we have this partnership with the NEOs, which are athletic programs in the universities, and we have a partnership with Oklahoma State, USC, and Kentucky, and so far, so that's the three that we can announce so far. And we are trying to onboard students into Web3. We see them as a potential people that are able to understand the market and adapt to this new technology, which is not that easy to do, right? We try to get our parents or grandparents to join this, and it's pretty very hard, right? Um, and yeah, so we're basically helping them onboard to the Web3 market.
Interesting. So how do you help those students on board? Are you like providing classes or something like that to the universities?
Yeah, so with like ambassadors, we have provided like educational content in Twitter and in campus, right? There's summer over there right now, so there's not much campus educational content happening. But basically, we're gonna opportunity setting up the sale mechanics to onboard them, which is credit card and debit card. The cards will be on Polygon, and that way it's like, I don't know if you guys remember the Donald Trump collection, that you use your credit card and then you got your card, so you don't even know if you got an NFT,
Yep.
you not having participated yet.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's so it's like onboarding people without them having to learn how to create a wallet and do an on ramp and all that. That's good.
Yeah, so that's our mission, and we haven't seen that much hype on the Twitters yet, but we'll building slow, and we'll see that hopefully eventually people are gonna be attracted to the idea, right? Because we NFT people always complain, there's new people, no new people joining and stuff, but like they keep minting these random projects. I do too. I'm guilty of that, right? I stay on this tool, on this mint platform, minting whatever whatever I see.
Yeah, there's not a ton of great things to mint right now, and I think a lot of people are hesitant to mint. Just when you look at the market action in general, right? So whether you blame Blur or not, right? There's people incentivized to just buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell, and over time that's just going to push the prices down. So my theory is there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines just waiting for the whole Blur resolve itself, and I think that resolution probably looks like they do their next airdrop and the token price just crashes. So people realize, it's probably not a great idea to, exert all that ETH and gas farming Blur. So that's my guess as to what happens. And I think that, there's other dynamics, there's market dynamics. We're in a bear market altogether, especially for NFTs. Things feel dead right now. But I think that, a resolution with Blur will help and more people will, start investing again.
Yeah, I definitely see a
So it'll be
potential.
interesting to see how that plays out. But
So what we're trying to do is,
Yeah, I think you're breaking up a little bit.
can you hear me well now?
Yeah, I can hear you good now.
So yeah, so when we launch the OK State collection, basically it's gonna be just for university students, right? And for people in their community that have like, so basically students are gonna have pre-sale automatically, right? And Alphatrend is doing a campus pass that which will let Web3 people mint the campus pass, right? And participate in any university collection they want, right? And it's gonna be college sports related, right? So it's gonna be athletes in the college in football, basketball, baseball, depending on the collection, right? And the college sport is a huge business, so we see that it might make sense in the space. We see Solver doing great, right? I definitely see a opportunity if it's done well, right? So hopefully the market reacts well to it, likes the idea, right? That this campus pass is gonna give you access. Maybe I don't know what school you guys went to, but USC is great. Kentucky is a great school. Oklahoma State also a great school. So we have many more that are coming. Um, so hopefully we get a good reaction from the market.
Nice, man. If you do one for Michigan State basketball, I'll be all over it. And
I'll
even
let you
football
know.
too. But they got to improve a little bit. But basketball for sure. I mean, that'd be really cool. So, are you guys like are the players receiving royalties on these, or how does that work when you're using their image and likeness to make cards?
Exactly. That's great for the athlete as well, right? The royalties from the athlete's card, right?
You chop.
If I'm the football player from OSU, I will be collecting those royalties traded on my card, right? So this is a huge support for the athlete as well, right? This technology is gonna help them a lot, right? And these athletic programs as well.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. So essentially, the plan is to just onboard as many universities as you can and kind of grow it that way. So each drop will be a campus pass for that university. So when people see their school, they would get that, or does it cover everything?
So we haven't decided on the date that we'll be launching, but it's probably gonna be around next month, hopefully when the market is more alive. And yeah, you basically meet your campus pass, and you're gonna have to either burn it, or we'll see how, depending on the supply, how the mechanics will be. But it will be essentially your pre-sale for the university you want, right? So it's not gonna probably not gonna work for all the universities forever, but right, one will give you pre-sale for the school you want, or you might collect four, and you burn one for one collection, and we'll see how the mechanics will be depending on the supply, but basically gonna give you pre-sale to the collection of the university you want.
Nice. That's interesting. 2160. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
don't try to do a stream when you have a VPN on. Apparently, it screws everything up.
Oh, someone's on roll bit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I got a little bit about what you were talking about. I was curious to piggyback off of Burns' question. Is the royalties for the players, is that built into the smart contracts and how everything is going to happen, or do they get paid like on the back end after some amount of time?
To be completely honest, I think it's gonna be some more of a back end, but yeah, the idea is that they will collect royalties from their card, right? Not from the entire collection. So it's gonna be like, if that specific player, his card sold 100 times, then yeah, he collects his card's royalty, right? Not the entire collection. So it depending on the player.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. I mean, I'm not really big into college sports. I'll be honest. My best friend is huge into college football, so this might be something that I could send his way. I stick to professional football, and that's basically about it. But I think it's really cool that players at these campuses can earn royalties off of their likeness. And I think it's a cool project to be offering up. I did hear you make the comment that you're trying to wait and time the market for NFTs to be more alive. I think that's hard to do for any product founder. So at some point you kind of just gotta stick a flag in the sand and be like, this is when we're gonna go forward, and then try to move on and be successful, and carve your lane no matter what the NFT market is doing at that time.
True, true. I'm more
So
of a
let's say
soccer
I
guy too.
meant
Premier League.
soccer. Nice. I
Yeah.
like the Chivas de Mexico. That's my
Nice.
team because my father-in-law, that's his team. He's from Mexico, and so yeah, I
Oh,
always that's the soccer I watch. But
yeah. I mean, I'm more of
okay,
a
so I
Premier
meant
League. Sorry.
okay, so you like the good soccer, right? The best.
But yeah, but still, the college sport business is just huge, man. A lot. They actually make more money than the Premier League. Crazy enough, man.
Yeah, college sports is I'm college sports, so I'm the opposite of 2160. I watch the Detroit Lions every year for like 3 games and I get pissed off and stop watching them. Um, but yeah, I'm all college sports for the most part. That's I mean that's what I'm really into, Michigan State. And then I root against Michigan every game. So I watch their games just to hope that they lose to whoever they're playing against. Because they're all so arrogant. But even though we beat them all the time, um, but yeah. So let's say I mint the campus pass, and then you guys do a Michigan State collection. I'm like, cool, I want that. I burn my pass or whatever the mechanics are. Does that mean I get like a player from each card, or is it like you rip a pack and there's different rarities and things like that? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's gonna be a pack opening experience. So you're gonna have access
Okay.
to that sale. It's not like it's not gonna be like a free mint or anything. You're just gonna get access to that sale that only the students have, right?
Okay. So each card, like, so let's say you've got each player is going to have different cards, or is it like one card per player? What does that look like?
We're working on it because it's I don't know if but it's hard to get these permissions and like image rights, right? So they don't. It's hard to do this, but we definitely want to do it as more like as NFT as possible, right? Like collections have all different traits and all that, so we don't want to put one image, but it's definitely that's something that we're working on, right? Having different varieties of one athlete, right? Like 10 different pictures of the same athlete, right? Not the same picture for one.
Yeah, and having like one of ones, I think that's really important to have that gambling
Hmm.
experience. Because I mean,
Exactly.
I used to buy a lot of sports cards, and I did it just because I like to gamble, right? I like to rip a pack open and try to get something good, which I
Exactly.
very rarely did. But I think that gambling feeling is very very important.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice, man. So what is the mint price?
So cheapest pack is gonna be for the one that we're working on right now, which is the OK State, which will be live soon. The OK State, Oklahoma State University. The cheapest pack is gonna be 120 and includes 3 players, right? So that's 3 cards in that pack, and you can also buy them individually, right? So the students can also like choose their friend or the same athlete can choose their own card by just selecting it, but it has like a premium, so it's like $50 for selecting the card you want
Okay, so $40 a card.
if you buy them pack. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
21.
think it's an interesting concept because you're going right to the source of like the fan base, right? So when I think about, I was around for like Top Shot, and even though I'm not really a huge basketball fan, I kind of played around with the mechanism and, anybody who's got the collecting bug, you can find a reason to collect something. And kind of the UI and the pack opening experience and the gambling, that's all part of like the reason that people stay in projects like this. Um, but to actually like go to the university, which I mean, when I went to college, like that's where your most fanatical fans are at, right? And
Mhm.
so not only are you producing a product right at the source of where the most demand is going to be, but then you're also imparting kind of this Web3 and NFT technology to a subset of like the youth that kind of embraces new technology, which I think you should get a really like warm reception if you have people on campus that are actually pushing these things around the events and stuff like that. So I think it's a really cool concept. I don't know that it would be particularly for me, but I can see where the fan base of the people actually going to those schools could really like get behind something like this.
Exactly. The community over there, they're huge, right? Like people that go to these football games in Oklahoma, it's like a lot of people that support this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. We're trying to
Yeah.
get this Brian, man. This Brian, he went to OSU, right? And he's huge in the NFT space. And we got to talk to him, but he's busy in his personal corner project that he's doing. So he might collab with us in the future, but for now, he said like he's very busy.
Who was that? Sorry, I missed it.
Des Bryant, do you know that guy?
Oh yeah, yeah, Des Bryant. Yeah.
Yeah, so he
Oh
went to
yeah, he's
OSU, right?
oh yeah, yeah. That'd be cool if you had like a special edition Des card.
Exactly.
Sure.
We're trying to get him for the next collection because he's like very busy with his project that he's working on.
Nice, man. Yeah, I think that would be really impactful. It's always good to get a big name behind it, especially someone who's like
Yeah.
really associated with it and has a reason to share it. Cool. I don't think I have any other questions. 2160.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions. I do wish you the best of luck. I think it's definitely a unique take on, being right at a fan base of a sporting organization. And if you do it right, if it's got a great UI and got a great mechanic, um, I think it's a great way to introduce, NFT and Web3 technology to, people of that age range. So yeah, wish you the best of luck, man.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you
We
for
gotta
having
rate
us.
you though. We gotta rate the project.
Go for it.
So you want to go first, 2160, or you want me to?
I'll go first. So for me, I think that it's a great concept. I would like to see it kind of executed, what the UI looks like, understand, minting mechanics a little bit more, to be able to really give you like a true score. For me right now, it looks promising. And for something that looks promising, just because I like to play with the idea of like if you can get these, even if you could just get 20% of the fans on that campus and like their parents and stuff like that to get involved, that's a huge marketing base, right? So like I'm gonna give it a solid 7, and I'm gonna wish you the best of luck, and I hope that you get like every college in the country to sign up for something like this, because not only is it great for the players, getting to make some revenue off of their likeness and their unique abilities, but I think it's great for Web3 to really focus in on university age people and kind of on board that. So yeah, solid 7.
Appreciate you, Rick.
It's a good rating. So yeah, I agree. I think it's a really interesting project. It's as a college basketball fan, I like it. It's something that I would want to mint if you had it for Michigan State. I think you got a lot of work ahead of you, but the fact that you already got OK State and a couple others, I mean, that means you're making good progress and it shows potential. I think it's really important that you try to add some rarity in there, make it a gambling experience for people. The more you can do that, the better. And even if you could build in a game or something like what Soul Rare does, if you're familiar with them, have some sort of gamified experience. I think that's going to add a lot more potential as well. My one reservation is the price. Paying $40 or $50 a card. That's a little steep. And here's why: I think you have a chance to on brand the masses, right? And if you do it right, you can bring on a lot of people because the fact that they don't have to go in and onboard crypto and create a MetaMask wallet or whatever. So I think a lower price point could be really advantageous in just having basically an unlimited supply. Like you mint it out as the school's on board, and then you go there and you just let the people collect what they want. So if you can combine that with a high level of rarity, that gambling experience, and maybe gamify it and have a low price point. So if I'm at a football game and I'm like, I don't know, 5-6 beers in, and you walk up to me and you're like, hey man, you want some collectibles or whatever, you have a booth, and I walk by, I'm like, you're like $10 for a pack. I'm like, oh fuck it, dude. I'll scan the code and boom, there we go. We're good. So I think
where I need that statement that Farouk plays on the GM Web3 show. We do not support alcohol and gambling on NFTs.
Yeah, we don't, but I do personally. I support alcohol and gambling for myself because they're a couple of my favorite things. So, I mean, yeah, you gamify it, you lower that price point, and you go for mass adoption rather than, that really high price point where, at $40 a card, I think people will balk at that. Now, obviously, I'm not like, I don't own a project. I'm not some sort of expert, but I think that could really help you a lot, to have a lower price point and focus on bringing on just a fuckload of people.
Yeah, I agree with your guys' thoughts. I really felt like you guys got the mission and the idea, and I appreciate your guys' input.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I'm going to give you a 6.7. I mean, I really like it too. I think you have massive potential with this, especially with the fact that you've already got universities onboarded. That gives you a selling point when you're trying to bring on more, right? You can say, hey, we got Okie State, they're on, give them a list, and that's going to help open doors for you. So yeah, I think it's good potential. It's a good rating, and I think there's a ton you can do with this. And you can take my advice or not, but either way, I think it's a cool project. And as soon as you get Michigan State, let me know, dude, because I'm minting even if it is $1 a card.
Perfect.
All right, cool. Yeah, thanks for coming on, man, and yeah, keep us updated on how things are going.
Perfect. Do I leave the stream and I connect to the Twitter space? I want to keep listening.
Cool. Yeah, for sure, man. I can just remove you from the stage.
All right, perfect.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good one. Enjoy
Bye,
Brazil.
guys. Appreciate
See
you.
man.
Thank you.
All right. So, guys, next up we've got Groovies. It looks like we've got a no-show. So this is a first ever 2160. We're just gonna roast them, and they're not gonna have any way to share about their project. We're just gonna start looking through their stuff, and we're gonna do a little DIY roast here.
Oh, they didn't show up?
They didn't show up, man. I don't see them. Groovies, are you in the audience? You've got 5 seconds, and we're gonna roast you.
Man, I was actually looking forward to this. Bern and I were talking earlier, and we're somewhat of at least I'll speak for myself. I'll let Bern
you can speak for me too.
But I have always been kind of an ETH maxi from the beginning. And it's really not because I don't believe that other chains can be successful or not. There's plenty of times when I'm scrolling through Twitter as a photography collector and I see a piece and I'm like, man, I really wish I could mint that. And it's like on Tez or something like that. And so it's just because I don't have the time to follow along on the other chains and be able to deep dive into it. And so I was actually really looking forward to this conversation because maybe he could give me kind of the reason. I know that Sol has been going up recently as an investment, as an altcoin in its own right, but and I also have kind of this negative feeling because I've been around for so long that, there's a lot of scams on ETH, but, some of these chains were just like almost 95% scams, everything that was being created. I know that they've evolved since then, but because of that kind of initial reaction that I was seeing a lot of people getting scammed on side chains, that I never really joined, just to kind of protect myself. So sad that they're not here to defend not only Soul but also their project. The art looks kind of cool. If you scroll down, I saw like a video that they posted. um it's not really for me per se, but it's definitely you know, could be interesting. Knowing nothing about the mint mechanics, the price, or you know, if they're bringing any kind of innovation to the Soul Chain. I can't really talk any further other than, you know, just looking at their Twitter. um yeah, what do you have to say about it?
So yeah, I agree on Soul. Like when I think of Soul, I think a network that just crashes and doesn't work. Because last year that was the thing with Soul. I mean, obviously D Gods and Utes, they left Soul. Um, so it's I'm not a big fan of Soul. If I were to get into a secondary chain other than Ethereum, I'm an ETH maxi. I would go with Arbitrum, just because I listened to Sobi talk about it on the GN show, and um, I know that chain has a lot of potential from a gaming perspective. So if I were to look at another chain, it would definitely be Arbitrum. These guys, I mean, like, okay, art, community, rewards, marketing. I guess we'll just start going through this. I mean, I think the art's all right. It looks like a Ute, but a little different. Um,
Yeah,
let's
I can
discover
see that.
this.
Wow, they got a whole host
So
of artists working on the project. That's a
yeah,
lot of
so it
people.
looks like okay, so they're gonna share some stuff there. So it looks like there's probably a wide variety of art, which is cool. I mean, I like that if they've got just a roster of artists and everyone's making different stuff. Um, that's cool. I like variety for sure, and I think that really helps from a PFP perspective, identity perspective, right? People want something different. That's one reason why um, I'm just going to shill Wrecked Guy. That's why Wrecked Guy is so good, because there's a lot of variety in the traits. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's a positive.
Yeah, man. And I think that, you know, something like this website, although it seems very simplistic, it seems to be the vibe that is on Soul. You know, each chain has kind of its own mechanisms and kind of the way that they present their projects to that community. So, you know, I think it has the potential to do well. You know, just given 5 seconds of looking at it. But I think, you know, Soul, just like ETH, is experiencing, you know, while ETH and Soul, the price of the token can go up and down. I think NFTs in general, especially PFPs, are kind of struggling right now, which I think is just temporary. I'm somebody who really thinks that digital identity is here to stay, and that as more and more people come to understand Web3 and it's built into their everyday life in a way that they don't even realize they're using it. Every video game has an avatar. Every thing that you do online has the ability to upload your face or upload some kind of image. So the idea of a profile picture, that's not going away, even if the language around it needs to change for wider adoption out of kind of the NFT nomenclature of PFP. But you know, people are going to want digital identities. So the digital identity movement is not over. PFPs will always be a thing. It just depends when you get in. I love my rec guy, and I could rock a rec guy for the next 50 years as my digital identity. But new people coming in, they're probably going to be drawn to newer projects, right? And some will go back to the legacy stuff that has been introduced, that kind of holds its own as new projects get developed. But a lot of people that come in are just going to go for the newest, shiniest thing, or something that they can really identify with themselves. And so I never tell people that are developing a PFP project that it's not worth it. The PFP thing has been overdone. You can always carve out a niche and a community. It just depends on, you know, how big a niche can you really carve out? How big of a diehard community can you form? You know, can you become rec guy and just have a bunch of degens that won't leave no matter if the price goes to zero or not? I don't know. that's up to you to figure out. But yeah, these are okay art in my opinion. Don't know anything else about the project, so can't
We'll
really
find out.
give it a rating.
Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna look a little more. But I agree with what you said about PFPs. Like when I was new, I was just trying to find something that would run that I could get really cheap so I could build up a stack, right? So I think a lot of new entrants are going to do that unless you have people come in who already have they've got pretty significant funds available. Those are the people I think you're going to see coming into the legacy PFP projects to find the right identity for themselves. But I think with, if there's a massive inflow of people, they're going to be just tearing up stuff like this, and at some point, I agree the market is going to flip. I don't know if it'll be a V-shaped recovery or not, but it'll be some project like this, and people will they'll just eat it up, and it'll absolutely rip. It's gonna have. It's not if, but it's when, and it's what project. I wish I knew because then I could make myself really rich, but who knows, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think every cycle will have a a top tier project or a top 10 project, you know. It's not always can't live forever as the number one. That's just not how things happen. And while they'll always have a historical relevance, right? Like punks will always have historical relevance. It really is, can you find the next community? Can you find the next project that is the Board Ape Yacht Club of that cycle, or the Azukis of that cycle? I know Azukis are having problems right now, but like they'll come back from their issues. But it's like that's what you're really looking for. And so you kind of, even though right now I'm not buying a lot of stuff in this market from an NFT perspective because I think ETH will outperform if you just hold it. It doesn't mean you turn a blind eye. You always have to be looking. So that's one of the things that I really love about this show is we bring a lot of projects on that are in their infancy or they're just getting ready to launch. And it keeps at least me and you kind of informed about what the new projects are being built in the space, because it will be one of these newer projects that will really, is adopted hard and could lead the next charge into the bull run when the environment's right for NFTs overall and PFPs. I think that one of the things we're seeing in this market is that PFPs and the NFT art market have just gotten, wider and wider apart from what's happening. And that was always going to be the direction that kind of um this technology was heading. What is good for PFPs and communities built from an IP is not exactly what is going to thrive in an art kind of one of one market. So I think you're starting to see this crack get bigger, and I think that'll only continue. And other things like sports and stuff like that will carve out their own lanes as well. And so I think that you just have to kind of, you may not be able to cover it all. Like we say that we're ETH maxis because, from my perspective, I just don't have time to dig into another chain. But eventually, the NFT market, even on ETH, is going to get so diverse that you kind of just have to pick the corners that you like. Like, for example, I know nothing about the Bored Ape Yacht Club like gaming, but you're like heavily like waiting for like the gaming perspective to really take off within NFT. That's just not something that I have the time for, right? So it's like you're gonna have to pick a niche and then try to stay up to date in that niche within probably a singular chain if you want to find kind of or have a shot at finding the next big thing when the bull returns. So yeah, I think for those reasons, I like being on this show as a host because we get to look at new and up and coming things that can potentially shape the next projects that are going to take off in a bull.
I definitely agree. Yeah, getting a first look at things is definitely advantageous, and that's why this is the best show ever made. Um, so make sure to always tune in, guys.
I
But
love I love your crazy confidence. Just like you think victory hoodies are the best trait, and you're wrong, and it's been proven multiple times. But you still can't let it go. I just love that kind of confidence from you. It's insanity, but it's also a hallmark of burn, which I
Look,
appreciate.
look, we're gonna disagree, but everybody knows victory is the best. So, you know, just forget it. It's fine. But to one of the points you made about finding the next Basie Board AP club, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Azuki, you don't even need to do that. You need to find, if you can find the next Goblin Town or the next checks and spot it early enough and then know to sell, you know, get enough where you can like you can DCA out of the position. I mean, you can make a shitload of money. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm holding some ETH and I'm waiting for hype, even if it looks like absolute shit. Because again, I'm a gambler, and I want to go hard on it and take a nice risk and see if I can cash out. We haven't had like proper hype on anything in a long time, so I think the next time that happens, there's a lot of bored people. I think something, I don't know what, is going to absolutely fucking rip. So that's kind of the play I'm doing. So you don't have to get that next blue chip if there is such a thing. You just have to get the next hard runner, and then you got to know to sell and take profits on it. And that's
Uh,
the strategy I'm going for.
well, it's not a bad strategy. I think you might have missed a great opportunity when, Azuki, Board Ape Yacht Club, and, Meme Land all shit the bed in like a week. Like, if I had ETH that I was willing to spend, I probably would have deployed the capital when things dropped so heavily.
I would
Um,
have. Yeah.
because there was, a 20% bounce from there already, 20-30% bounce in a lot of projects. That would have been a great time if you're just looking to buy stuff and flip it for a profit. I don't know if I have it in me anymore to, chase the FOMO into projects that I really don't see innovation or I don't like the art. I did that for 2.5 years, and it just got to the point where it felt so much better to just invest in things that I actually truly believed in and kind of put, blinders on or protected my capital. Because I used to try to mint everything. I used to try to grind for all of the allow lists, and I used to try to flip
Oh yeah.
everything. And you were there, Burn, and it's just like at some point, like you need work life balance and you need hobby life balance. And I've got family and kids, and so do you. And so, like, it's really hard if you're not like just living in the space to kind of do that and do it well. So I definitely, my hats off to people that are still degenning like that. My degenning has basically come to bag holding, which is, holding stuff and not letting it go, that I currently really, really believe in, as well as continuing to, be a photography collector, which I don't do as a source of, a return on investment. I do it more as, I just like to collect that kind of stuff. But who knows? It could just be being beaten down. It could just be being beaten down after a year to 18 months of a extended bear market, and my strategy might change or my excitement level might change as we enter a bull market.
Yeah, for sure. And I get what you're saying about grinding the allow list. I remember doing that. I'm in like all these discords, just trying to talk or find a way to weasel into an allow list, which I did quite a bit. And, it was these projects that would, they would double up or triple up within the first day, and I sold them and took profits and did good. But that's an absolute grind. But what I'm thinking is, because we haven't had, nobody's grinding allow lists right now. Nobody's nobody gives a shit about any mints. So what
I
I'm
mean,
looking for
it
is
just
that
just
next
did
one.
$40 million. Like,
What's
people
that?
do. uh People do care, but it's got to be the right FOMO, right? It's got to be the bigger projects. The smaller projects are hard right now because you're not minting something in this market and you think it's going to be a 3x or 4x unless you hit the one of ones that are in that collection, and that's like playing the lottery, right? And so, like, if there's no guarantee of even being able to flip it for what you mint it for, which a lot of projects these days, like, they can't even hold their mint price like a day after they launch, right? And so that's really challenging. Like I feel for the newer projects that are coming out because unless it's a free mint, like Rec Guy, or it's a very, very low mint price, you really are getting either incredible degen gamblers or, communities that really want to be interested in your project. But that's why you see projects having problems selling out, right? Like they can't mint out their larger supplies because the aspect of being profitable after mint is just not really there. And so it
Yeah,
does make it a challenge.
I agree. But I'm looking for that one at some point. Something new is going to come out. And I don't remember the last time I saw any like hype on something new, but that's what I'm looking for. Something new, maybe I catch it at like 0.3 or 0.2 or whatever. But something that's running properly. Like you could see it with the Pepe coin. There was a ton of hype around that, and I got in and made a profit. I'm looking for something like that. With Goblin Town, you could see it. With checks, you could see it. I just didn't get in because I'm dumb. But I mean, it's a gamble. And don't get me wrong, I agree with the long-term investment. I'm talking about like a 1% of my portfolio investment, right? Everything else is locked up. I'm not touching it, but I do like to keep a small portion to just take these punts sometimes. And not financial advice, but that's what I like to do because I like to gamble and I'd like to catch one of these big ones. So, I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's when something new comes out. I might pick the wrong thing. I might lose my investment, but I'm going to take a punt. I don't
Yeah,
think
man.
it's going to be because
It's
it's
just
on.
where you want to degen, right? Like you laughed earlier because you know that I'm on Rollbit. So like I'm getting degen vibes like, shorting and longing like ETH and BTC and Pepe and other stuff like that. So, just as a degen, it's where and how you want to get your fix and where your risk, where you want to put your risk, right? And so the NFT market for me is down, pretty bad at the moment. And so it's a higher risk, and I would rather be risky where there's liquidity, and you're not always guaranteed to get liquidity in an NFT project after mint. So, but I think at the same time that puts me at risk for not getting into something that explodes. You coming to me and being like, "Hey, you need to mint this," and I fade it, and I'm like, "Burn, you're an idiot," and then you make like 5 ETH off of it, and I wasn't there, which has
Like I did
happened
with
before.
your turbo call out. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got
Maybe.
really, really lucky with Turbo. I had known, Rhett for a long time because I've just been in this space. And so one, I was already following him. But only 50 people bought that, pre-mint to that coin. And like I said, I sold way too early. Some people said they can't believe that I held it to the point where it was at, but in retrospect, taking 110,000 profit over 4 million profit, it hurts me at the end of the day. But that was just me getting lucky, right?
It was a good trade, dude. You got to take the profits. I mean, but I guess the lesson from that is always keep a moon bag, right? Like maybe pull out 70% and let the rest ride.
I knew I made a mistake because I sold and posted it in the DGens Discord, and then literally 20 minutes later, OSF's like, "Yeah, I just sunk like 50 ETH into Turbo," and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm an idiot." Anyways, that'll go down as one of the wins that like felt like a win, but also felt like a huge loss. It's just like when I sold my Bored Ape, like, and all of my BAYC stuff, like before the launch of like ApeCoin, like that was the peak top of apes, and like it felt good to be in the space for so long and to get a win of that size. But at the same time, like it really felt shitty to like exit the community altogether and like not have that top peak asset anymore, right? And so it's like all of these things come with a different range of emotion. But I think as we say, like we're trying to find the next big win. I think you only need like small wins to keep you alive. Like a lot of people say, like the biggest thing in the space is just staying alive, right? Like during this bear, like don't get persuaded to just like forget your seed phrase and walk away, because it'll be the kind of worst decision you ever make, because Web3 technology is not going anywhere and these markets will just mature. They're not going extinct, right? So it's like in a bear, stay alive, make smart decisions, have little wins, take profit along the way. And you really only need a big win, like me selling my Bored Ape for 500,000 or me selling Turbo for 100k. Like you only need one of those like once a year maybe, and you should be able to continue to make good money in the space if that is what you are here for. I joined particularly to make money, but I stayed for the community and the art and the people that I've met along the way. But everybody still, the underlying thing that keeps this space going is people want to make money as well. So small wins. It's like when you're playing poker. Like I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Rounders, but it's like, you only need one big bet an hour. You only need to win one big hand an hour to make money at playing poker or stay alive in a tournament. And that really is how I look at like staying alive in NFTs. You only need kind of one big score a year. And then you can just celebrate the small wins and always remember to take profit no matter what your emotions are behind it.
I agree, man. I mean, that's how it's been in my experience here in my year and a half or so. I didn't have any massive wins, but it was like 5 grand here, 10 grand here, 20 here, and just being patient. But at the same time, I do keep a little bit to just yeet into shit and gamble, just because it's fun and I like to do that.
Yeah, but I think
But I agree.
if looking at you, like you might not have like monetary huge wins, like 15,000 or 20,000. And we're not like, we talk about these numbers like they're nothing. It's like KBM talking about how like he had to close a short for 200k the other day because the market just wasn't going his way. Like we have lost like touch with reality when we're talking about money, right? Like you say, oh, 20k is not a big deal, but like that's literally somebody's yearly salary,
Yeah.
or like multiple year salaries if you go into third world countries, right? And so we kind of need to go out and touch some grass and get in tune with reality. But I think your big wins is like your reputation and you becoming community managers in some of the biggest like projects in the space with some really, really smart people, and the access that has afforded you and the people that you get to surround yourself with. Like those to me are huge wins. Like that is where like I might have got a monetary win, but like you've gotten like big wins in the space from a different direction.
Yeah, I've managed to get some really good jobs working for who I believe are the best founders in the space. Obviously, there's people like Frank who are awesome, and you got Luca and those guys. But working for OSF, Mando, Farouk, Loxley, and I did that just by being one addicted to screens and just like all the time I'm on and just helping people, right? Just help people and don't ask for anything in return. I think that's the best strategy anyone could have if you're looking to like get a job in this space. But at the same time, I did raise my hand. Like I DM'd Ovi. I was like, hey, you need a mod? If you ever do, let me know. You do have to let people know, but never expect anything. And just keep your head down and grind and spend your time and invest in the communities and the teams that you believe in. Working for these two teams, I'm gladly doing it. And I love it because it's two communities and projects that I believe in heavily. Obviously, most of you know that. I'm a relentless shiller, but there's a reason behind that. I shill what I really believe in. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, yeah, and that's been a big win, and most of my wins come from those communities as well.
Yeah, man, I think that you're absolutely right. Like, OV, Mando, Farouk, Loxley, they are incredible founders in the space. And obviously, as we talked about earlier, like me kind of paring down my bags, not only was it for like tax reasons, but I just wanted to back people that I really believed. So my bags are definitely in, Rect Guy, OSFR, and Rug Radio. Obviously, I'm a Rug Radio DAO council member, because I want to contribute to that project. I really do think it's the juggernaut, in hiding in Web3, and that, I really believe that media is going to be at the forefront of pushing Web3 technology forward. And I want to be a part of that. And like you said, you just kind of have to find communities that you vibe with and find projects that you truly believe in and you want to get behind, and then you volunteer and you find ways to contribute. I can't work full-time in this space at the moment, but every waking moment that I'm not with my family or I'm not in my IRL job, I'm kind of in Web3 trying to contribute, in one way or the other. Sometimes it's just being a degenerate community member or eating shit on Rollbit. Other times it's, trying to do stuff for Rug Radio, and kind of move the needle. So, um, all that to say, I think there's a lot of different ways to get involved in the Web3 space. We're not going anywhere. Find a niche or a couple niches that you really, really like, and get involved and support people. Like you said, the biggest thing is supporting people. You kind of get back from this space what you put into it. You shouldn't come in with any expectation, but if you put in hard work and you try to help people, I really do believe in karma. And I've seen it time and time again in Web3, where people that put in the hard work are the ones that really get rewarded. And I also think if you're just here and you survive, like I said earlier, that eventually you're going to bump into a couple wins, right?
It'll happen if you're patient, for sure. You just got to be patient and keep your eyes open. You don't need to spend every second on Twitter and in Discord. You just got to be patient, keep your eyes open, and get what makes sense. So, yeah, man. Groovies, I'm gonna rate them a 3 because they didn't show up. No, I'm just kidding. We can't rate them.
I can't rate him at all. But what I will say is Alphatrend just bought a Corey Van Loo, Faces of Web3 to support. And they just posted that, so I want to give them a shout out. Thanks for doing that, and thanks for being on the show today. And best of luck with your project.
Yeah, those CVLs are sick too. I mean, that's my wife's. I bought my wife one. It's the only NFT she owns. I've got like, I don't know, 10 or 15 of them, I think. And I've got the hoodie. I know you've got a hoodie too. You've got all the gold pipes, but that's one where like I just like the art, man. I like the art a lot, and
I like
there's
the story.
like
I think Farouk and Corey and the Rug Radio team, they did such a good job with the rollout of that project, that I really bought into it being a generative PFP project that was pushed by an artist, an artist that had been sold at like Sotheby's and Christie's and stuff like that. I dig the art. I have like 20 or 30 of them. And yeah, I've gone in hard on the gold love puffs, trying to quarter that market. But yeah, I think they're great PFPs, and if you don't have one, their price point is really, really low. So it's an easy way to join Rug Radio and get in the Discord and be a part of the community.
Yeah, and Farouk even said about the supply, like it's a 20K supply. He's like, I don't care about the floor price. It's about having an identity for Rug Radio and having cool art. Like that's what it is. So I don't give a fuck.
Absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with him. Like people always said, like, where's the PFP? Where's the PFP for Rug Radio? And so they did it, and they did it really, really well. And does the floor price have to go up for some people? That's the only way they're ever going to judge something. But I don't think so. I think Corey Van Loo as an artist, incredible. As his career continues, you can own a piece of his art for, really cheap right now. You get to join Rug Radio, which is the future of media in Web3, and globally, if you believe in kind of the vision that all of us do. And it's not all about the price. Find one that looks like you, grab it for a good price, and kind of move on and know that it was a way to have a PFP, have an identity for Rug Radio that isn't a rug, because it's hard to kind of display that and rep a rug everywhere on Twitter or in social media. And yeah, and come join along.
Hell yeah, man. Good stuff. Yeah, I think that was a good show. You know, we had one guest with a cool project they're working on, you know, college sports. I love it. And then we got to just like shoot the shit for a little bit, which we usually don't get to do, which is good. And everything that you and I say is like super smart. Just like we're geniuses. So you guys in the audience are lucky. But no, man, that was a good show. And yeah, I don't have anything else. How about you?
No, I don't have anything else either. Yeah, I just got outbid on a dodgy dealer by 0.0001.
Wait, you're bidding those too? Dude,
Yeah, man.
So that means you outbid me.
So I outbid you by 0.0042, and then somebody came and outbid me by 0.0001. Like, how messed up is that?
Bro. All right, I'm gonna go in. Thanks for telling me, because I'm gonna go and outbid you and that other dude by like 0.000001 or something. Because
no, you can't.
I need
4 commas, bro, or four placements past the decimal.
I might just straight buy the floors, and just so that way the person most likely to dump it on you, just like I get it, because I need more. Little Alpha Dodgy Dealer OSF edition season 2. I don't know if it's alpha or not, but I'm getting more. So, you know, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I mean, smart money.
Buy them. Nobody go buy them right now, because I'm gonna get them. So don't fuck me. There's like 2160 over here outbidding me by pennies.
All right, man.
For Pete's sake, bud.
We'll see you next week. Play us out.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Good show. Now I gotta go in and bid on dodgy dealers. Yeah, I'm lagging so bad. My internet is like.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with mine. The whole show, like the video, has been in sync. Got a little bit better when I came back. I thought it was the VPN, but it wasn't.